Hi, I'm Olivia Newman-Young. I'm a makeup artist and I'm here today to show you a bronzed summer look as part of my Make Me Up series. So the first thing that I always do before I start makeup is make sure my skin's prepped, and to do that I will cleanse. I've also put some oil on my skin, so for a sort of tanned, glowy look, using the products that I'm about to use to blend them nicer, I've used the Decleor Aromatherapy Oil. I'm going to go in with my Designer Lift Armani foundation. This one is quite a full coverage. I've got it in a colour 5.5, so it's already quite a tanned colour. And I'm just gonna take it from the back of my hand and then buff in, starting sort of my nose area and working out. I'm gonna start from the centre of my face, because sort of the centre of your face is where you have more redness, and I'm just gonna blend out my foundation, because you sort of need less coverage around here. Unless obviously you have some blemishes and you're a bit blemish prone, you can cover over those with concealer. I like to blend my foundation all the way around my lip area. I know a lot of my friends leave around their lip area. I don't know why, but I definitely like to put it all around. Make sure I get a nice coverage. For this look, I don't want my concealer, I need it to blend because I'm about to put on a liquid bronzer. So I'm actually going to use Estee Lauder Double Wear Maximum Cover Foundation, which is basically a really full coverage foundation. And I'm just going to feather it on. I have a little red, like, maybe a spot coming there, I don't know what it is. And I'm just going to feather that over. And then I always get a bit red just around the nose. Next thing I'm going to do is I have here, it is clean, but I do warn you, if you have one of these brushes, instant tan will leave a permanent stain on it. And this is the MAC 163 brush. And I'm just going to get, now this is an old favourite of mine, Rimmel Instant Sunshimmer. I absolutely love it. I use it in a different way to how I used to when I was younger. And I'm going to pop some of this in the back of my hand, as so. So this brush gets very stained. I'm just gonna sort of blend, like wipe it into the back of my hand a bit, just to get the product on the brush, but also off the brush. I'm gonna go over my foundation, and because my foundation's a cream, this is just gonna blend into a cream, so it's a really good way of not getting a cakey look and also not getting many streaks, because if anything streaks, you can just blend it out. And I'm just gonna take it where the sun would naturally hit my face. Onto the chin. You can sort of contour a bit of this as well, like if you're sort of putting it around here, it's going to darken those areas, and you know, by doing that you're going to make your cheekbones sort of come out more. When you're in the sun, you get a lot of sun here, and it's quite nice to just work the colour up there. If you're a bit paler, work down onto your neck a bit. This is where actually you can get a mitt or get anything and buff it a bit, you know. Sunshimmer is sort of a bit more for the body. So you can just buff it on. It always looks nice if your collarbones have a bit of colour. Yeah, just use the rest of the product on the back of your hand. One thing, if you're going to use the Rimmel Instant Sunshimmer, is you'll find when you wash it, you have a bit of a sort of permanent stain for a day or so. But the best thing to get that off is, I find a bar of soap, like a little square bar, if you actually rub it in, it takes it all off. Whereas if you use gel soap, you'll sort of find that you'll still have a bit of a sort of funny outline. Next thing I'm going to do is add a little bit of contour. Now I've got here a Ben Nye shadow wheel. It has SK3, so I think that might be also some of the colour tones of it. And it's just like, just cream makeup in like a few brownie colours. And I'm going to use the same brush that I was using before, and just like put it in there. Wave it around a bit, take off any excess on my back of my hand, and then look like where my sort of cheekbone is and where I want to extend that a bit. And just buff that on again. For this look, I like to use lots of creams because I want to keep it really glowy. And also I find working with creams when you're trying to bronze and everything, they all blend into each other. So if you're using like a matte foundation, it's probably better to use powders. But with like a really glowy, dewy foundation, it's quite nice just to blend it in with creams and you'll keep that sort of glowy effect rather than, you know, piling on powder and sort of losing that nice sort of bronze, glowy summer look. I'm adding just a bit of colour to my forehead, just to sort of, you know, add a bit more like dimension to my face. On my nose, I sort of find that it's quite long for my face, so I actually like to add a bit of contour and just like to the end. It sort of gives the illusion of my nose being shorter than it actually is. Same with under the chin. I always find in photos and you get like a double chin because you're like talking in the background. So I like to just like add a bit of the contour colour just under my chin, and that way it will just sort of, if you do get any bit of a double chin, it will just sort of fade that out a bit and it won't be so obvious. Next thing I'm going to do is my eyebrows. I've got here my HD brow palette. This is one of the professional ones that has all the colours in, but you can just get a palette of 4. And I'm going to use a fluffy, bigger brush first, so I get like a softer eyebrow, but to fill in all of this. And I'm just using the lightest colour in my palette called Ash Blonde. So I have my Ash Blonde here, and then that's Dark Blonde. And those two that I like to use on myself to blend in. So I mix them together and then dab it off in the back of my hand so it's not too heavy. And then I'm just going to take that to the bottom of my eyebrows. Then I have here a slanted 266 MAC brush, and I'm just going to go in again with the two colours sort of mixed, dabbing off though on the back of my hand. And then where I want my eyebrow to be more defined, I'm just going to elongate that down there. Next thing I'm going to do is my eyes, and using again my Ben Nye shadow wheel, and then my MAC 217 sort of little fluffy eye brush. I'm just going to use the two darkest colours. There's like a more reddy tone one and then a sort of chocolatey brown one. I'm just going to sort of blend them together, dab it out a bit on the back of my hand, and then going into sort of the socket line of my eye, I'm just going to blend those in. And that sort of just, I guess, contours the eye a bit. Just blend that in. And then if you sort of do this type of eye makeup, blending stuff into the socket line, it's actually going to make your eye look bigger, because if you contrast colours, so put a lighter colour in this sort of gap of skin here, and then a dark colour here, it actually opens up the eye a bit. So it's quite good, yeah, to use your darker colour in your socket line. And then next thing I'm going to do, so I have here the MAC Coffee pencil, which is just a brown coffee coloured pencil, and I'm going to blend that onto the back of my hand. And then I'm just going to use a little, I guess, sort of round-ended brush. It sort of has a bit of a point, quite small and curved. And I'm just going to get the product onto my brush by buffering over it on my hand. And then I'm just I want my product to sort of be here a bit, so almost like a bit of a smudged liner. I want this to look really sort of blended and pretty, nothing harsh, nothing to really look too done either. I want it to be very sort of laid back and a sort of casual eye. I'm just gonna blend it up there and blend it a bit into the socket line. I have here a colour called Savage from NARS, and this yet again is just a gold cream, and I'm just literally going to get it on my finger and dab on my outside corner. And then next thing I'm going to do is a little bit of mascara. I don't want loads, I don't want sort of a big done up eye look, but I've just got here Maybelline the Colossal Volume Express Mascara. And I'm literally just going to go in more onto the roots of my lashes, not sort of overdoing it too much, just go in there a bit. And I'm not going to pop it on my bottom lashes. I've already got some shadow to define that, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Then I just want to add, I want it to look really bronzed and really summery look. So I've got here the MAC cream colour bases. And I've got it in Impropper Copper and then Pearl. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a tiny bit of my face oil, my Decleor face oil, a tiny drop on one of them. Then with my big buffering brush, I'm just gonna buff those together, mixing the two colors together a bit. Dab it out maybe a bit on the back of my hand and then just add this as like a highlighter. Just around my cheek. Then using the pearl again, I'm just gonna, a sort of small round-ended brush, any brush will work, dab a tiny bit onto the inner corner of my eye. Last of all, I just want a really natural lip colour. So I've got here Hue from MAC, which is a favourite of mine. It's a really sort of creamy lip colour, but also a nude. And I'm literally just gonna pop that on. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this look. Please subscribe and press the like button if you like it. Next time I am doing Get Ready With Me Festival. Tune in for that and I'll see you next week. Bye guys.